Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the lead singer for Lipstick.
I'm Steve. I'm the bassist.
And today on the Lipstick panel, sorry I got distracted by the DVD starting up, we're going to be doing another commentary episode. And why are we doing a commentary episode? Because it's St. Patrick's Day, and I didn't have enough time to put together a good Thin Lizzy panel. And I'm like, man, we have to do something Lizzy related. It's St. Patrick's Day.
Well, that's the rule.
Them's the rules. So we're going to take my copy of the Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous DVD, and we're going to just watch the main concert on there. There's a bonus concert, there's some other live performances, but we're going to watch the main feature, the Live and Dangerous video that sort of came out as a companion to the double album, and we're just going to watch the set and see what kind of commentary we come up with. Our first time doing commentary on a concert.
Ooh.
We're the guys who don't shut up during the songs. But also, I think this will be the first time of Steve watching a Thin Lizzy concert of actual Thin Lizzy and not Thin Lizzy tribute bands and Black Star Riders.
It's true. Although I have heard some of the songs from this.
Yeah, you've heard the song, but I'm saying, watching what the band was like in their heyday performing. This is classic lineup, Brian Robertson, Scott Gorham era. Let's check it out.
All right.
Gonna press play, so for those watching along with the DVD at home...
Playing in 3, 2, 1, click. Plus whatever delay VLC introduces.
Right.
That's a truck. Today I learned that the scroll knob turns the volume up and down in VLC.
Yeah, so DVD starts off with a guy framing device. For those not watching at home and just listening to the podcast, basically the beginning segment of this concert video is showing them setting up the stage for Thin Lizzy's show.
Them being McFraming Deviceman.
Yes, McFraming Device guy. So you get to watch the big ol' truck pull up to the venue, and you get to watch the roadies setting up everything.
So this concert was in England or UK somewhere?
It
Dublin?
says Rainbow 78. So I am honestly not certain.
It's somewhere where they drive on the wrong side of the road.
So yeah, I don't know, probably London. I am not as familiar with concert venues from other countries.
Well, why not?
I don't know. I'm a nerd, but I'm not that much of a nerd. I was too busy playing Final Fantasy to memorize concert venues from other nations. If it ain't the Cavern Club, I don't care. Cavern Club or Wembley, nothing in between.
Nah.
So yeah, starting off with Rosalie, the Bob Seger cover that our friend Brad Page did an episode of his show on, the I'm in Love with That Song podcast. It's like, man, Phil Lynott, what a great songwriter. Let me do the Thin Lizzy cover of a Bob Seger song.
Yeah.
To talk about what a great songwriter Phil Lynott is.
Was that one of the most recent episodes?
Yes.
Okay.
At the time of this recording.
Yeah, at the time of this recording. Whatever. I think I watched that one on Libsyn, and for whatever reason they missed a week.
Yeah, well,
so I'm a little bit behind.
It did just come out a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fresh. But yeah, once again, Brad Page, great job. Much better podcaster than us. Much better person than us. Brad, just all around swell, dude. Go listen to his show. It's like 20 minutes and it'll give you everything you need.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening to us.
Oh, what is the runtime on this? 51 minutes.
There you go.
This is a fairly short concert, even.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, they cut out a lot of stuff from this concert.
Yeah.
When they do eventually start the show, they start with The Boys Are Back in Town and this, with the concert footage.
That is a gong.
Yes. Oh, man, gongs. They need to make a comeback. And then you got the whole crew with the band there.
Ooh, pre-roll credits.
But when they start The Boys Are Back in Town, you can tell it's in the middle of the set because Phil is sweaty. And
Maybe he's just a sweaty dude.
No, because then the next song, he's not sweaty. So they just, went out of order.
No.
Ah, man, freaking Phil Lynott. What a cool dude. What a really fucking cool dude. This is a cool band. I like this band. For those who don't know, I like this band.
I hear rumors to that effect.
Just like the amount of charisma and swagger. And Phil Lynott, a man who can wear his bass up high and not look like a nerd. Like, that is difficult to do.
I mean, a man who can wear a bass and not look like a nerd, that's difficult to do.
I feel like I think it's because you come from the alt-rock scene, you're just not used to cool bassists. Because, like, there's so many, like, badass cool bassists in 70s and 80s rock. So I think just, like, 90s bassists were a bunch of awkward nerds. Like, you had, Trey Cool as the guy to look up to?
Yeah.
Versus...
No, Mike Dirnt.
Mike Dirnt? Oh, Trey Cool's the drummer, right?
Yeah, Trey Cool's the drummer.
That shows what I know about Green Day.
That's okay. I had those two backwards for, 15 years.
Yeah, and you're, supposedly a fan of the band. Although, I've come around on Green Day.
There's other bassists we can look. There's Flea. Flea's sort of a well-known bassist. Basically every ska bassist. Finally, the music starts.
Yep. Music was starting, but now, the concert footage has started. You know what? This is a damn classic. This is a great song. I'm sorry, Steve. This is great. This is lightning in a bottle. This is magic. But yeah, look how sweaty he is.
That man is glistening.
But you know what? Hey, he's glistening, but I guarantee you, his sweat is making the women in the crowd melt. They're like, that is an attractive man.
Are you calling Thin Lizzy fans witches?
That
was a weird cutaway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the boxes.
Yeah.
I watched this with my family recently, and they were a bit trolled by the box effect.
I don't know that it's a good edit the way they do it.
No, I don't think it's very good. I think that's, you know how a lot of stuff from the 70s and 80s works for me without me feeling it's dated at all?
Uh-huh.
That's dated. That's not a good effect.
If they did the effect I guess, yeah, if they had punchier editing of it, so it was it looked like it came in when the background vocals came in, and if it went out with them, I think that would work a lot better.
Yeah, I can see that. But also, look, I think they were trying something different, and you notice how you don't see it anymore.
Yeah. Nope, came back again.
Yeah, it came back again. But as we're talking about this video editing technique being dated, I think the band looks completely cool, doesn't look dated to me, just looks awesome. This is as cool today as it was back then. Because, if you were in East Nashville, dude, and you saw someone who looked like Phil Lynott, you just think, this is just a cool dude with nice fashion sense. Probably in a cool band.
Well, how much does, other than the baggy grunge phase of the 90s, how much does, rock musician fashion really change?
Rock fashion, the grunge movement made it uncool to dress cool, which was a giant troll for me. And then, you got, the black-rimmed glasses, try your best to look nerdy when... That's just awkward to me. But this is just man, this is just a cool looking bunch of dudes. These are dudes with some style, man.
I think if you're a stylish person, the nerdy or weird or strange affectations will continue to work and not particularly if you dressed like this nowadays, you wouldn't look current. This is clearly 70s fashion.
But a lot of 70s fashion is, become the retro cool thing.
Right, exactly. 20 years from now, big dorky black rimmed glasses will still probably be cool in the people who look good in anything because they know how to dress.
But
like, there's some people who can make whatever outfit look good. They know what they're doing when it comes to dressing themselves, and there's some people who don't.
Yeah, and
the
apparently
90s were kind to us in the latter category.
Yeah, but I guess, like, one of Phil's big hobbies was going to thrift stores and buying, like, cool outfits. Which, another thing I resonate with this dude on.
What was the thing I was reading? An op-ed somewhere? It might not have even been an op-ed. It might have just been a hot take somewhere. Talking about fashion lines that try to promote the idea of being ethical. And their comment was, the only way that a fashion line can ever be ethical is if we abolish fashion and everybody wears shapeless, generic rucksacks made by machines.
That's such a good ending to the song. Like, the live version ending is great. Also, we covered this song.
We did.
Your animosity towards it, but we still played it.
Uh-huh. Because I'm a bassist. Good bassists do what they're told.
Yep. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Unless you're Phil Lynott, in which you're the boss and you tell everyone else what to do. I see they got the green lights because it's Emerald.
Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day.
This band is so fucking Irish, dude.
I like the affectation that the second song in their set would be Emerald.
Right?
They would
also,
lead with Boys Are Back in Town.
He's magically way less sweaty.
Yeah, right? Weird.
The biggest bummer of this video is that there's not Cowboy Song in the set.
Oh.
Because when they do Cowboy Song into Boys Are Back in Town, it is so awesome. Because that last ringing out chord of Cowboy Song becomes the opening ringing out chord of the Boys Are Back in Town. And so that would have been really awesome to see in this context. But I get why they did it. They're like, play the big hit first for the home video audience. Or like, not home video, but I guess like movie theater audience, because this was the 70s, so this was shown at theaters, I guess?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe
Weird.
like, on TV? Like one of those,
this is a square aspect ratio show, and it might have been... Yeah, this was probably originally shown on TV.
Yeah. But man, like, they're so freaking cool. Like, Phil's got a great power stance.
Rock stance.
And look, he's got... Freaking Brian Robertson has his cigarette in hand, picking these dual guitar harmonies, and not even, like, letting go of his cigarette. His cigarette is in the picking hand. That's badass, dude. That's fucking rock and roll. Like, I remember when I first saw that on VH1, I'm like, holy shit, this is cool.
Couldn't get away with that nowadays. You'd have to have your vape pen in hand. And even then, some venues won't allow it. That would be the saddest thing ever.
Yep.
Be trying to play with a vape pen in your picking hand.
But look,
and then
you can still see the cigarette there. He's doing this harmony part with the cigarette still. Come on, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can see why he's Chris Lathrop's favorite guitar player. Like, all badass charisma swagger, waving his dick around musically with his insane solos.
Pausing to smoke in the middle of the song.
Yeah. Also, from what I've heard about Brian Robertson, I would hate being in a band with him.
Oh, yeah?
Because he was like the obnoxious young guitar player. He's like, I know what I'm doing better than you. You should let me be the boss of the band.
Yeah.
I'm like, freaking A, guitarist.
Right?
And then Scott Gorham is like, Scott Gorham is the bassist of this band because he just wants everyone to get along. Like, can't we all just be friends? Why can't we have all of our ideas be valid? Shut up, Scott. Yeah, just thunderous.
Thunderous. How much do they How much do they overdub in their live footage?
I am not sure. I mean, obviously, a lot of 70s live albums had overdubs.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of live albums have overdubs.
So, to be honest, I don't know how much. There's been debate. The band has said very little. The producers say a lot. You know, I think it's probably just what your interpretation of a lot is versus what a little is.
Yeah.
So the band might think, oh, we just, fixed one vocal part on each song. To a producer, that might be a lot. To a band, it might be like, oh, I just fixed one line per song. But what I'll say is, this video does a good job of not letting you notice.
Yeah. You don't layer up a bunch of extra stuff. You just punch in vocals to replace the, takes that were too noisy or not really on key.
But yeah. Great Thin Lizzy classic, Dancing in the Moonlight. Saxophone, so damn sexy. Sexy, sexy saxophone.
That mustache, though.
Yeah.
That guy's look, I don't know that it has aged as well.
Well, that's why he's not a permanent band member. Like, look how cool the rest of them look, and then you got, like, the sax player, who I'm sure is a nice guy and a very competent musician.
He's like, in my normal day job, I'm a bassist.
But, like, in fairness, a lot of dudes are not going to look cool next to Thin Lizzy.
Right.
Like, you have one of the coolest looking rock bands of all time, one of the most engaging frontmen in hard rock. And like, all right, I'm a sax player from the 70s with an awkward mustache.
I mean, if you just got a better haircut and mustache, those pants, they make his butt pop.
Yeah, no, I think if his hair was longer, honestly, that's the only thing. Just give this guy longer hair, he'd be pretty badass.
His hair's not short enough to be cool or long enough to be cool.
Yeah, it's like that weird middle ground. Which, is part of the difficulty of growing out your hair. Like, your hair is going to look shitty for a little bit.
Oftentimes a very long time, depending on how quickly your hair grows. Like, last time I tried to just grow my hair out, after about even a year, it was still in that kind of crappy phase.
But hey, great playing. And now we're going to get a Scott Gorham solo.
Had I known about top knots back in college when I tried to do that, I might have been able to pull that look off. No, that's not true.
So, Steve, I assume you didn't listen to the Decibel Geek episode I did on Thin Lizzy?
I did not, no.
So, this is a song that I used to serenade girls with when I was in high school. Worked pretty much every time. Like, this is like, you don't sing Bang Bang You to impress the ladies. You sing this song.
Right. You sing a song about dancing.
You don't sing Bang Bang You to impress anybody other than me. And it's impressing me on an ironic level. This just like, dude, chicks freaking love when you sing this song. Like, yeah, success.
Remember, you can't spell success without cess.
And apparently, Phil had to fight the other band members on doing this song because they're like, oh, it's too mellow. And it became a signature song for the band, one of the most well-regarded Thin Lizzy songs. So, turns out the dude who wrote all the songs and had the musical vision was the correct one. Ah, what a great chord.
Perhaps if they'd let somebody else make the decision, they might have been an even bigger band.
It's fair. Oh, but man, freaking this song right here.
Oh, this one's actually the transition.
Yeah.
Because the rodeo came out. The roadie came out and grabbed the sax mic.
Like, this is tight, dude. Like, listen to that syncopation. This is the song that Iron Maiden eventually covered.
Oh, yeah.
Massacre.
Oh, yes.
What a metal name for a song.
Yep. Is that saxophone going again?
No saxophone, dude.
Okay, those guitars are just sounding kind of saxophony right now. Saxophony, if you know what I mean.
But like it's both like metal and funky at the same time. And also like a little bit Celtic with Brian Downey's drumming. Like it's a really cool, unique experience. And I love that bass part.
Yeah. I had a thought, and I forgot it.
Great pod.
Yeah. Is that who we are now, Greg? The sort of people who describe things as great pod or not?
Dude, we've been podcasting for longer than a year.
Yeah. It's true. I don't know. I feel like, there's a difference between being a dad and wearing socks and sandals.
That's true. I don't know, I think commenting on whether or not the podcast is good or not isn't the dad with sandals thing.
Leave us a comment in the comment section, listeners. Is us breaking the fourth wall good content or not? Also, special thanks to our patrons and blah, blah, blah. I'll read some names.
Oh, yeah.
That was my thought.
Review us on iTunes, please.
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. We have a 5-star review.
Nice.
Someone who's a fan of us talking about Kiss and Thin Lizzy. So,
oh, nice.
There you go. We're doing more of the stuff you like.
So my question was, the slapback effect they're doing periodically, is that added in post, or do they have somebody riding in a reverb fader in the?
I believe they have a reverb fader.
I always wonder about those things when bands have certain words with that accent echo live. He just got way sweatier.
Yeah, this is clearly out of order, this concert.
The edit between that last song and this one was pretty smooth, though.
Yeah, I mean, the editing's great.
Still in love with dudes.
All right, yep, get ready for Steve to not be into this, because it's a slow ballad.
Yeah.
A slow, bluesy love song.
Where are the gallops?
Yeah, we were winning you over with the freaking metal song.
I mean, this is a very huge pivot to go from Massacre to this. Just like, the British killed everybody. I'm still in love with you. Partially because the British killed everyone else. Girl, if you were the last girl on earth, I would still love you.
Before the British killed you.
And then somebody else would presumably be the last girl on earth, and I'd have to love her.
Yeah, this, man, I know I've said this about every Thin Lizzy song, but this is another great one. This one, it took a few listens to grow on me, this one, but I think it's a phenomenal ballad.
I'm actually a little bit surprised by how sweaty he is. Because he's dressed in pretty light clothing that looks like it breathes pretty well. And he's not moving around that much.
Maybe they cut out all the songs where he was moving around a ton.
Like they were
because they were sloppier performances, and he got really sweaty because he was just so into it.
Like all these backflips that he's doing, those aren't good television.
Right.
And of course, this is the 70s when stage lights were even hotter than they are now. Because, LEDs didn't exist yet.
Also, I've noticed there's a weird thing where, like, the singers get way sweatier than the other musicians.
Well, there's more lights on them. So it could be largely lights.
Yeah, it's probably the lights.
And he's certainly performing more energetically than the guitarists.
Yeah.
How's the drummer doing sweat-wise?
Yeah, because Brian Downey just, like, he is not going easy on the drums. Like, on this song, obviously, he's restrained for the sake of the song. But, like, you just heard Massacre. He was fucking going off the rails there. I got Robbo doing his showcase solo.
You'll notice he's wearing a reflective shirt, so he stays cooler.
All part of the plan. So
White pants that don't absorb the light. Yeah, those leather pants probably aren't.
Yes. Phil's wearing leather pants.
I would not want to smell Phil's balls after the show.
You wouldn't. But I'm sure some of the ladies there would, and did.
You'll notice that his banter was, any of you ladies have any Irish in you? Would you like to have a little more Irish? And not, who wants to smell my sweaty balls?
Right.
These leather pants are very tight and don't breathe.
So, original solo and the studio version was done by Gary Moore. He recorded it before he left the band for the first time. And then live it became sort of Robbo's showcase. Which is interesting because he's the flashier, wag your dick guitar player, and Scott's the more tasteful one. And so, like, hey, let's give the ballad solo to the wag your dick guitar player. But he does a great job. What do you think the point of a
ballad is, Greg?
What?
What do you think the point of a ballad is, Greg?
Oh, shoot.
Ladies, check out my genitals. You know, there was some dude who owns this DVD who's like, that was my hand in that shot.
Probably.
Oh no, the words Thin Lizzy have gone out in their sign in the back.
Well, I think they did that intentionally because they're bringing the lights down for the ballad.
So that's a better designed light display than the Kiss one. Because the Kiss one is just sort of there. This one seems to be more animated. What year was this?
I believe this is 78.
Oh. I'm just going to wave the DVD cover around so you can't see the screen.
Thanks.
You've seen it before.
I have.
What, you saw it, what, last week? With your family?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago with, with the missus and the kid. And by watched it, I mean we watched one song because they were deciding what they wanted to do. So I'm like, I'm just going to put in Thin Lizzy.
That's the way you motivate them to make decisions? Like,
yes.
What do we want to do? I don't know, something that's not watching Thin Lizzy DVDs.
Yeah, I think there is definite burnout from the other members of my household on Thin Lizzy. But, whatever. They don't have as good a taste as I do.
Oh, both guys get a solo in this one. So, it's hardly showcasing one guitarist if they both play a solo.
I guess because he gets I think that because this leads into the outro section. That's why people don't consider this Scott's showcase.
Ooh, this is one of those proper Photoshop a fish into his hand solos. He's making the faces.
So I love the story of how Scott joined Thin Lizzy. So I guess his brother-in-law was in Supertramp, which was based in England, and one of the guys in Supertramp was leaving, so he just flew to England unannounced and hoping that his brother-in-law would let him join his band.
Nah.
And then he's like, nah, we found somebody. And so he was just kind of stuck in England. It's like, oh shit, what am I going to do? And then Thin Lizzy was looking for a new guitarist, like, oh sweet, I'll join this band I haven't heard of.
Slide fade.
But I just find that to be like a kind of hilarious story. Just Scott Gorham just dicking around in England.
So in the 70s, all of these various effects would have been done on actual film generally. I'm wondering how they went about it. Did you just so they got a split screen side-by-side thing going on. Would that be you just have to cut the film in half down the middle for that section?
Maybe.
Tape them together? Also, the sound holes on those kick drums are huge. Why even have a resonant head? The normal answer would be to put your band logo on, but no, there's no room for the band logo. That resonant head is like 80% of sound hole.
Man, what a great performance.
You could fit a smaller kick drum in that hole. Did he say don't believe it? What did he say?
He said, don't believe it, turd.
All right.
Making dumb jokes. You should love it, Steve. He's a bassist making dumb jokes.
Just had to clarify. I was like, did I hear that correctly? I don't want to be the one who's like, did he say don't believe it, turd?
But the crowd seems into it.
They're like, yeah, poop jokes.
Well, no, I'm saying the crowd seems into the song. Like, look,
it's fair.
Like, they're banging their heads. They're clapping.
Oh, he magically absorbed a bunch of sweat again.
Yep. So much less sweaty. Maybe that's like, maybe Phil Lynott had, like, sweat-based superpowers. Or maybe his shirt is like a ShamWow type situation where it just absorbs the sweat.
It's a lot of symbols.
Yeah, man, those freaking huge 70s drum kits. You know, and as I was ragging on Brian Robertson for trying to take control of the band, his suggestion to Phil to, like, speed up the tempo and rock the song up was 100% the correct decision.
Yeah.
And I would say probably his biggest contribution to Thin Lizzy from a writing perspective. Even though that's more arrangement than writing.
Yeah.
I think his biggest contribution, aside from just like, oh yeah, he played those bitchin' solos.
Watching this DVD is making me realize I need to start wearing pinky rings and lipstick.
I mean, yeah. But the thing is, one of the things I've noticed a lot about rock musicians is they accessorize very well.
Yeah.
They've got necklaces, they've got a bunch of bracelets, they've got rings.
He actually got way sweatier midway through this song.
He's getting into it, but don't worry, the ShamWow is going to absorb it. He'll be fine. Yeah, like, look at how into it the crowd is. Like, you can't fake that. Well, I mean, you could, but you know they didn't.
You can fake that. In fact, that was Threaten's whole thing. Not his whole thing, but a big part of it. That's why I can't do the rock star accessorizing thing. Is just, excuse me, necklaces just make me uncomfortable. Really, anything around my neck.
So this is a cool song because this is a song that never appears on a Lizzy studio album.
Ah.
They only ever play it live, but it's a live staple.
Interesting.
And the thing is, like, the fans know it. Like, when they hear it, they respond to it. They're like, oh, sweet, it's Are You Ready? And, you know, it appears on a couple live albums, but it kind of makes it like a magical, like, song just for the live experience.
Right.
And I think that's kind of a cool thing.
So I'm noticing the gong was swaying, still is swaying, which makes me feel like we were cheated out of getting to see the gong hit.
Yep.
Aww. Oh, they're doing the rock star guitars playing together thing?
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's cool visually.
It's true.
Especially a band where a lot of people consider the gimmick of Thin Lizzy to be, look how well these two guitar players work together.
I feel like it's weird to call that a gimmick. Like, look how competent these musicians are.
But Thin Lizzy, like, the thing that Thin Lizzy is famous for is the guitar team. That is what they're famous for. Two guitars teamed up. I think that is the wrong thing that Thin Lizzy is famous for. It should be Phil is a great songwriter. But it's mainly like, man, Brian Robertson and Scott Gorham, those guys play guitar really well together. On a bunch of songs that Phil wrote.
Yeah. That stage right cameraman just keeps wandering into shots.
But yeah.
Surreptitiously smoking.
Rock and roll, dude.
You know what's rock and roll? Addiction! Woo!
I mean, yes?
Yeah, it's true. Self-destructive behaviors! Yeah!
Interesting enough, so at the time of this recording, Brian Robertson was more self-destructive than Phil Lynott. Yet, Brian Robertson, as of this recording, still alive and kicking.
Sounds like you just cursed the man.
I mean, look,
Brian Robertson, as of this recording, is still alive.
I mean, look, like,
for now.
My rock heroes are getting old, dude. It's like every week I see another great musician has passed.
Yes, his death is soon.
Don't do that.
I'm just paraphrasing what you said, man. What do you say this one's called? Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la?
Sha-la-la.
Needs more la's.
Yeah, this is one of the weaker tunes in the Thin Lizzy catalog in terms of lyrical content. The line "Be my jelly roll" just doesn't do it for me. But there still are some cool lines, like
maybe fills into bigger girls.
I mean, possibly.
Fat bottom girls. I hear tell they make the rocking world go all the way round.
But, as I was talking about, the highlight being Phil's songwriting and not just the guitar playing, the dual guitars are really awesome on this track.
Yeah. The bass underlying them helps a lot too.
Yeah. I mean, no, he's a competent bassist.
Was he playing with a pick?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to get that really, like, distinct attack with finger picking style.
Great rock stances.
Those guys really like the front to back rock stance, standing really close to each other.
It looks cool.
I don't know. I think the back to back one looks kind of cooler, especially because you can like lean against each other and like get really low with it.
Oh, I think it's cool when like they're sort of locked into a rhythm together. I don't know. I think back to back is cool, but when it's a song like this where they're just locked into that rhythm, I think it looks really cool.
That is a wide strap. I just noticed that. That strap is like 6 inches across. This is a man who does not want to hurt his shoulder.
So what are your thoughts over on this performance?
That's pretty good.
Especially also considering the era, too.
Yeah. I think this is, the audio is pretty good for a live recording.
So, if you were a kid in the 70s, before Smashing Pumpkins and your favorite bands existed, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find something better than this.
Yeah. Although it's difficult to picture myself as a kid in the 70s just because, that's so far removed from my actual experience.
Right.
But what would I think of this if I had been a kid in the 70s? I don't know. I'd be a different person.
That's true. But I think if you were... The music of your youth didn't exist, and this is just what bands were like, I think this would probably be towards the top of the heap.
Jeez, the cameraman just bumped a microphone.
Yep. Brian Downey, easily for me the most underrated drummer in rock. Easily.
I hope nobody needed to hear that first rack tom.
Hey, camera guy.
Hey, camera guy. Well, there's his vantage point of it. What do you think of that double kick, Greg?
I think it's used well because it's in the context of a drum solo. Look, I'm not against double kick ever being used. I am against it being used improperly. So, like, guitar squeals.
Yeah.
I'm not against ever using guitar squeals. I'm against abuse of guitar squeals.
Ooh, they're going for a really melodramatic edit there.
But yeah, I would say Brian Downey does double kick very well. Eric Carr from Kiss does double kick maybe better than any drummer other than Brian Downey. Freaking, what a damn beast on the drums.
That sync drifted a lot.
And a gong hit. Yes.
I did find it a little distracting how much the sync kept on drifting throughout that solo. It's like, nope, those hands aren't hitting the drums quite in time. They're basically backwards from what they're supposed to be. Baby Drives Me Crazy, apparently.
Are we at the end of the show?
I don't think so. Because that was just Sha-La-La, right?
Right.
So then it's Baby Drives Me Crazy, and then finale / Me and the Boys.
Yeah, so this is basically the last song, because the next song just plays over the credits.
So the credits they played at the beginning weren't the full credits?
Not the full credits.
Dun, dun, dun.
But also, like, he's working the crowd so well.
Just interesting, considering his eyes are closed.
But what's interesting...
I think the crowd is working themselves more than he is. Like, closing your eyes and sort of half-heartedly pointing to the audience.
Well, because it's a call and response thing.
Right.
So I think the way he's working the audience is from the vocal. I think his vocal is really working the crowd. And I mean, yes, this is basically a 12-bar blues tune. But I think just what he does with the call and response takes it to an interesting place where it becomes more of a crowd participation song than just here's us doing the blues. And so that's why I think this is another successful song, also not found on an album.
We're getting into the everybody takes turn playing solos part of the blues. It's very magnanimous of him as a bassist to play this kind of song.
I mean, I feel like he's into it.
Yeah, when I play bass in a blues song, I'm into it for about the first 2 to 3 minutes.
But I think...
And then the song goes for another 3 to 5.
So here's what I'm going to say. Phil Lynott, man, very proud of all of his different roots. He's proud of his Irish roots. He's proud of his black roots. So to him, he probably feels like this is just him, embracing his heritage.
That's an interesting thought as an Irishman, because the blues is very much a black American music genre. I always sort of wonder about, obviously, a couple of white dudes living in North America, we really don't know what we're talking about here, but sort of the experience of, worldwide blackness versus American blackness, which is sort of the, seems the dominant, is culture the right word? I don't know.
Well, from what I've, heard from interviews and things I've read, I guess, Phil was basically the only black person in Ireland. But...
That sounds like a bit of hyperbole.
Apparently, the numbers are very, very small.
I'm sure they're pretty small. Because remember, it's distinctly possible that he didn't know anybody outside of his immediate family for most of his life.
There might have been a couple, but I think they actually, I think I read census numbers. It was in the single digits of black people living in Ireland at the time of his childhood.
Interesting.
His dad, I think, was visiting from Nigeria or something, and knocked up his mom.
Oh, his dad didn't live in the country?
No.
Oh dear.
And then, like, he didn't see his dad growing up because his dad went back to his country.
Oh, interesting.
So, like, when I say he was the only black person in Ireland, like, I'm not saying...
It's distinctly possible he didn't know any others, yeah?
Yes. But people apparently, like, he didn't grow up with prejudice. Apparently, everyone was really nice to him. They didn't treat him any differently.
Right.
And he said that everyone treated him like just a regular Irishman. And he was just loved by the community.
Right. I mean, it's hard to be prejudiced against, like, I'm not
a single person.
A minority of one.
Right.
Like, you picture people around his town, be like, well, you know what black people are like. You know, Phil. You know what Phil's like.
A really awesome, nice person. Phil's the guy who buys you a pint at the pub.
Right, so, yeah. I'm just... Is that what everybody's like?
Oh, so this is fun. Like, what he's doing musically and the response of the crowd is fun. Not us talking about Phil's race.
Right. So I think, yeah, like, his connection to Americans is sort of interesting. Because, like, I feel like Cowboy Song is evidence that, like, he doesn't know much about the Americas. Just sort of, like, has ideas. He's seen movies.
Yeah, I think he views, like, a lot of life as mythological.
Yeah. So, which makes his connection to the blues sort of interesting. Like, I wonder, like, what that's actually like. How much of the blues did he listen to growing up?
I mean, blues was really popular in England at the time. And actually, blues artists were more successful in Europe than they were in the United States because they got to play bigger venues, got paid more because people were less racist.
Right?
So he might have listened to a ton of blues.
That's possible. Are they doing the encore thing?
Yeah, doing the encore thing.
So this is when they're going to come out and play The Boys Are Back in Town and Whiskey in the Jar.
Apparently they didn't play Whiskey in the Jar live too much.
Yeah. I wonder if Black Star Riders, who did play Whiskey in the Jar when we saw them, I wonder if they're less hung up on artistic integrity. They're like, look, none of us are Phil. We know which side of our bread the butter goes on.
I think Black Star Riders definitely has integrity because the fact that they changed the name and made themselves decidedly less commercial by doing that shows they have integrity. Because guarantee you the album would have sold way more if it was called Thin Lizzy.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But the fact that they, like, cared about the integrity to not do that, like, gives me so much respect for them. I still don't like it nearly as much.
Oh, but you did buy it.
I bought the first Black Star Riders album. It was great. The second one was very disappointing. Third one, from what I've heard of it, is good. I just haven't gotten around to buying it. But, like, that second one, like, it was produced in Franklin, and it sounds like it was produced in Franklin, dude.
Hey,
there you go. That's some industry talk for those of you who don't live in an industry city.
Right. The last Blue Matches album was produced in Franklin. Aww. Heck, the Eye for None album was probably produced in Franklin too.
You know. The thing is, like, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like it was a Florida Georgia line album produced in Franklin.
Right. Because that's the trick. There are really good studio spaces in Franklin.
Of course there are. Franklin's great.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like, it has that Franklin bro country sound and Franklin bro country, like, songwriting, which isn't what I want from Black Star Riders.
Right. Somebody touching the guitar. Right. Like, produced in Franklin and produced by someone from Franklin are different things. So, our friend Erica from Lady in the Blacklight, I saw them at a now defunct venue called Daisy Dukes before it closed, and it was like a bunch of like blues rocky kind of songs all night, and they had, you know, standard issue Belmont graduate, you know, massively underpaid for the education and skill set he had running sound, and like He had the snare drum mic set up to sound like a shotgun in an airplane hangar. It's just like every time somebody hit the snare, it was just like, which sounds great for arena rock. Blues rock in a small club, it was the worst thing. Like, who you have running things is a really important factor. So a great room in Franklin is always going to sound great. But yeah, if you have bro country producers running things, you're going to get a bro country sound.
It didn't work for me. The songwriting, like, there were a couple, I would say, A+ songs on that album, but overall it didn't work for me.
I believe I made the mic clip on my shotgun of a snare imitation.
It happens. But that's kind of what I figured would happen, because, like, the original Black Star Riders album was meant to be a Thin Lizzy album, so they wrote all the songs thinking they would be Thin Lizzy songs.
Right.
And then when they became their own band, I'm like, oh, this band likes the blues way too much. And I was worried that the second album would be what it was. Which, it's still good, it's just not what I wanted. But I tell you, this right here, this is what I want. Thin Lizzy, killing it.
Just fill up there, riding that high G string.
Ah, what a great drum fill.
Ooh, they all did a jump. Head of vision.
Yeah, now we're at the credits.
Yep. Those were short credits.
Indeed.
I mean, I guess it's probably just the credits for the video aspect of things.
Yeah.
In that, there's at least 3 people manning cameras?
Yep.
Oh, there's at least 4 or 5 people manning cameras. And then you've got the crew that put things together. And then on top of it, you've got the crew that runs a show like this. All the roadies, all the people who are running sound.
But yeah, there you go. That was a Thin Lizzy set. What'd you think, Steve?
That was pretty good. I mean, I had fun seeing Black Star Riders, and seeing Lizzy at their peak would be a similarly fun show.
Yep, so there you go. Thin Lizzy, still a really good band. Didn't really have that great of insights. But you know what? Happy St. Patrick's Day. We talked about Thin Lizzy because they're awesome.
We didn't drink any whiskey during this.
Well, that's because I've got to drive home.
That's true. Also, it's not St. Patrick's Day where we are.
Right.
Well, when we release this episode, we'll drink whiskey while listening to it then?
Yes, we will. We shall do that. And
when is St. Patrick's Day? I don't even know.
It's a Sunday, so I'll be over here.
All right.
All right. So, Steve, where can people find us on the internet?
lipstickgeneration.com.
All right, that's our episode. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Peace.
Peace.